So we have a project. It's our project number 1, and for our purposes, we're using our first product code because that's the one we've set the GL codes up for. And I'm going to change salesman to David. Okay, fine. So it's David now, the salesperson on this project. Okay, fine. So when we want to go to billing, we go to billing menu. We put our project number in. Okay. It confirms our address, all the stuff we talked about before. Okay, and now we can select these items. Now I'm not going to select these items. I'm just going to select. I'm going to select the A line. What key? F3. Okay. And I'm going to select the C line. And I selected that. And I'm going to put an E line. What's an E line do? Yep. And that will cost $100 and sell price is $140. And then we're going to put one part in there. We'll just go ahead and do this part right here. We press the F3 key. And we don't have any stock on the system, so it's going to add the stock if we do that. So we have now an A line. We have a P line selected. We have, I will put an L line in here. So we got all our line types, labor. Okay, so we've got a little invoice, and let's see what our tax. Let's make sure we're using the right tax code. So tax code, heading section, we're using 10, which is our Utah sales tax. Exactly right. Okay, so we've got basically, I'll hit retotal right here. So we've got a little invoice that has an invoice total of that amount right there, and there's your tax amount right there. Okay, so we just press exit here. And we get the point of no return. Notice your tax amount right there. This is, again, where I told you you can change. If this had a freight amount here, it would be the same amount here, but if you want to reduce it, this is the field where you actually reduce the freight down to what you want to collect today versus the full amount that they've quoted. Okay? This would be the field where if you wanted to give the customer just a tax amount. Now, if you wanted to correct this tax, which is taken away, you should change the tax code. You don't zero it out. You change the tax code. You know, the only reason why you're making any edits on this tax section if you're giving the customer a tax credit. Because you're not... exactly right, negative 926 or whatever that says. Okay, so we hit continue to build invoice. Click over here. Okay, and it puts the project into completed projects. Now, you notice we have our dollars to accounting. Okay? So we go ahead and press dollars to accounting, and we say yes, and it goes away. Okay? Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you do the next step, which is to go over here. And now I'm going to pause the tape for 1 second. Record again. So to bring in that data, we come over here to File, Import, IIF. Now, it'll remember the path of the last place you brought something in from on QuickBooks. So you'll need to go up here to either create a Z drive that takes you exactly where you want to go, or you navigate to DovNet, QuickBooks, and take that file there. Now, it will remember this path. Okay. Oh, that exists. The credit memo, keep number. We'll keep it and we'll delete it. You've got to tell me it's using like invoice number 1 and it already exists in the system. So we'll use it temporarily and then we'll just delete it anyways because it's not real anyways. So we'll go ahead and keep the number. That's what import should be. Just that sweet.
So once you click on that folder on the other in your G drive.
Yes. Yeah, for next time, now that we just do this, from here, if we do an import a second time, click on there, and it's right in the file. Now, when you update QuickBooks, it'll default itself back to the QuickBooks folder, so you'll have to drive yourself to it. But if you're just in the normal routine, daily routine, it should remember this path, unless you do something where you're negotiating a path inside QuickBooks. Yeah. Okay? And so now we can go ahead and we go to list customer jobs right there. Okay, and the job we did for our purposes was billing menu, print, reprint. We just did alarm lock. Okay, so we go down here to alarm lock, alarm, right there. All right. And it added a new customer. Why did it do that? That's interesting. Oh, you know why? I don't have the checkbox on that says use the alternate code. So it should have put it under this. But this is what it looks like, is if you don't fill in, the alarm lock, alarm, okay. See, I did have it filled in, but it doesn't say a accounting code. When I do the configuration, it'll say accounting ID is what this will say, and I don't have that feature turned on. So, in fact, it did exactly what I said it was going to do. It put in this plus the customer code is what it did. So if you put something there, then that'll be the way it goes over. But because I don't have that feature turned on, it went over the way it goes, which is this. Yeah, exactly right. So on your system then, here we are. There is the invoice record that it created. And we can just do right-click, open balance report down here. Okay, and there is your invoice right there. We can just double-click on it, and there's your invoice. Thank you for asking DevNet for this. There's your part number. There's your installation, miscellaneous parts. So there are all your possibilities. Okay, and it added the customer and put the tax amount down there. So it's a beautiful thing. Cool. I actually want to change something on my setting now, because the one thing it did not do is it didn't put the part numbers over here. I want to put the part numbers over there because then you'll actually see, you can look under QuickBooks sales activity by that client. So I said no part numbers, but I'm going to back that down to a different flavor. So what we can do here is now to get rid of this. Now, of course, you can do your delete key, and it goes away. So that invoice just disappeared now. Okay.
But did it overwrite the original invoice number 1?
No, it left the other one there too. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and delete this customer here too. So get rid of that too. And now that customer's out of the system too. Okay. All right. So let's see. Minimize that. Okay, fine. So let's turn on a couple changes. I want to change my system here. Click over here. Pause the recording.